Building bases and space stations in KSP is one of the hardest thing to do. Transferring every necessary part, docking them properly together, trying not to mess up your center of mass with your center of thrust when you're planning to send your creation to deep space is very hard. Although we saw a lot of amazing builds, we had floating bases on Eve and Lathe, underwater colonies and insanely complex space stations across the whole Kerbal system. One of them stands out till this day as one of the coolest, mind-breaking design ever, the hovering habitat above the southern pole of Juno by Logan Aerospace. Although a different kind of awesomeness is yet to be created. Since the Arches was added to the game in 0.17, players messed around with them, but in 2014, at the end of August, something changed when Cosby released his mod, the Kerbal Attachment System, including feathers, winches and claws. With this mod, new possibilities appeared. In this video, we take a closer look at the hanging base design. I want to point out in advance that not every player made a video about his or her base, but posted some pictures instead. I will put the link of every design in the description. The very first documented hanging base was created in 2016 by 3D printing Not One. His base included hydroponics, rover hangar, mining facility, landing pad for spaceplane, hitchhiker storage container, control tower and an escape pod system, altogether around 600 parts. Room for 14 Kerbals. The second hanging base was created by the Space Pirate in 2019. This design was built at low Kerbin orbit with 8 SSTOs, then sent to the Lunar Arch. The base included a science lab, a mining facility, hitchhiker storage container, a communication module and 3 ion hover bikes. Room for about 20 Kerbals. The third hanging base was built in 2019 by Student-Earth Cosmonautics. It was me. Originally I planned to build a base with 2-3 modules docked to the core after it was attached to the arch. By the nature of Kerbal attachment system it was not possible, therefore I sent a brand new base in one launch. The base included a science module, 3 hitchhiker storage containers, 3 Mk1 crew cabins and a cupola. Room for about 21 Kerbals. The fourth hanging base was built by Student-Terrace Cosmonautics in 2020, 4th of May. This was the very first design without the cable attachment system. The main component was the holder design, which held the base under the arch. The base and the holder was connected by an extendable tether. The design included a hitchhiker storage container, science lab, 4 cupolas and 2 RCS hover bikes. The total mass of the base was 83.4 tons with 375 parts, room for about 10 kerbals. If you are interested, I wrote a flipbook journal about my base design, you will find it in the description. The fifth hanging base was built by Hans in 2020, 11th of May. The reason why is it very impressive, because it was built completely with stock parts only, without even the 2 DLCs. The design included the MK lander can, 24 MK1 crew cabins, 5 cupolas and 2 MK1-3 command pods. Also a hitchhiker storage container and a science lab. Room for about 67 kerbals. The sixth hanging base, or at least its anchor or holder, was built by Evemaster in 2020, 12th of May. It was the very first try on Tylo. As he said, he could install it only with cheats. The structure survived 5 reloads after the gravity was set back to normal. No room for kerbals. The seventh hanging base was built by Evemaster in 2020, 6th of June. This was the first proper hanging base on Tylo. Evemaster managed to send it in one launch and landed on the cave of Tylo, where he deployed the base. The design included a mobile base platform, an extendable tether system, an MK1 lander can, Science Junior material bay, a mystery goo canister, thermometer, barometer and a surface scanner. Room for about 3 kerbals. The eighth hanging base was built by Student-Terrace Cosmonautics in 2020, 9th of September. It was the upgrade of the original MK1 design. The holder system was basically the same, but the tether and habitation module was extended. The total mass was increased from 83.4 to 130 tons. The base included 8 MK1 crew cabins, a science lab, 2 cupolas and a hitchhiker storage container. Room for 24 kerbals. The ninth hanging base was built by Studenters Cosmonautics in 2021, 23rd of July. It was a heavily molded one. The original design with the control tower was a dead end because the base kept sliding even on an almost flat ground. The next design was a better one. It was basically the advanced version of what EveMaster built in 2020 12th of May. But the base still kept sliding, so I had to use the wheel jack from the Wild Blue Industries Buffalo mod. Because of the heavy design, I had to use the cheat menu as well as for the Recon base what I installed nearby. After tons of catastrophic failures, I managed to complete the hanging base, but it was really pain in the mass. Room without the Recon base for about 15 Kerbals. The 10th hanging base was built just 3 days after the latest update with the ground anchor was released. Left side right posted on his Reddit page his design on 6th of August in 2021. This was the very first hanging base design with the ground anchor in use. Sadly, there's no videos, only a couple of pictures about the completed base, so we don't have any information if he used cheats or not. Room for about 13 Kerbals. On the same day, Shadow Zone created a different kind of design. Strictly speaking, we cannot count it as a hanging base, but as a landing platform instead, since it's sticking out of the side of the arch. By itself, it has no room for Kerbals, but it can hold a vessel with the mass about 20-30 tons. Just a day after, on 7th of August, the 12th hanging base was created by Matt Lone. This can be considered the first well-documented hanging base design with the ground anchor in use. With 4 Science Junior material bays, 2 mystery goo canisters, thermometers, barometers, gravity detectors and a magnetometer boom, we can count it as a proper scientific base. The design included 2 Mk1-3 command pods, 4 Mk1 crew cabins, a scientific lab, 1 Mk1 lander can and a cupola. Room for 18 Kerbals. The last base design for making of this video was created in 2021, 12th of August by Veos. Again, strictly speaking, we cannot count it as a hanging base, but the effort he put in it makes his base mentionable. The special thing about this design was that it was built on Kerbal on the side of a mountain. With rocket engines in space, you can set perfectly your thrust, but with the jet engines, even with the Panthers, is much more harder. He barely managed to install his base just before the craft ran out of fuel. Room for 2 Kerbals. As you saw, every hanging base was unique in its own way. The one thing was still the same in all of them is that when you want to build a base like this, you have to think out of the box to find the proper solution for a specific problem. What design did you like the most? Leave your thoughts in the comments, and I hope you found this video interesting. If so, please leave a like and subscribe if you wish. Bye!